Hey guys, welcome back. Part 9, Episode 9, whatever we're calling this disaster, the ongoing mess. A little bit of new information, and also some more pick apart of the J Boys and their videos that they published, the podcast afterwards. We're going to take a look at why the J Boys did or should have known this was a scam at many points. The urgency of the flip, the urgency shown by the J Boys, it was there. It was there all along. We're also going to touch on Justin a little bit. Maybe see more of him in the upcoming episodes. And maybe we'll finish off with a hype dog roundup. First of all, let's read through all the DMs or my DMs with Mealy Pops before I explain why it's relevant. So, starting off here, if you guys don't recall, I was blocked by Mr. Mealy, Jameely, Bobeely. He first said, "Hey there, do you know you can come to a source before making videos that aren't factual, right?" December 26th, this was after I started making videos. I can't remember if there was 1 or 2 out at this point. Must have been 2. Card Kahuna knows the seller personally. Feel free to reach out to him for whatever story you want. Well, in a lot of the stories, he doesn't know him personally, but thanks for clarifying. Additionally, we documented the whole thing from obtaining it to authenticating it to having BBCE authenticate it. Perfect. I'm glad you did so, and we'll be taking more of a look at that in this video. I asked, what wasn't factual? The original seller seems like anything but legitimate. Everything in my video has testimony, was in the original listing, was published by you, and or has screenshots to back it up. Did you not know about the multiple stories told by the original seller? Have you talked to the winner of the auction? This should say BBCE. Authentication is a joke, and I went easy on them. To which Jameel replies with, "Was Christmas, so this could wait for a response. I was sent your video from someone." I wasn't expecting a response, or at least not a prompt one. Didn't matter to me. So first off, it's BBCE. Yes, thank you for that. Please cite the correct name. Feel free to try to discredit one of the biggest names in the hobby. I think we know how that turned out. Steve Hart and BBCE 1. Steve is who all the Pokemon loose packs go to for grading from PSA. The PSA. Your video implies he is not a subject matter expert. Come on, man. I'd like to ask you if that is still the case. 2. BBCE has been wrapping and authenticating sports, non-sports, Magic, and Pokemon for many years. So, again, this is false. He hasn't been wrapping Pokemon. You say it in your own video. This is the first Pokemon item that's ever been wrapped. And probably the last, hopefully the last that's ever been wrapped, short of someone going in there and getting like a Steam Siege box wrapped for the memes. If you check all the big auction houses, Heritage, Golden, Leland's, a lot of the high-end wax boxes and cases are wrapped by BBCE. God save their souls. For a reason. It's a trusted name. He authenticated a recent 86-87 Flair basketball case, and it had wrapped, and it sold, and had it wrapped, and it sold for multi-millions on auction. But again, these are facts you don't care about. I don't really care about the 87, 80, or 86, 87 Flair. I hope it's not G.I. Joe cards inside. But I guess maybe someday we'll find out. Number 3. One of the things Steve is known for is his expertise on seals, boxes, tape, weights. He has built a huge business with his name. Again, you try to discredit what he does with no factual evidence. I don't know if it was in this part. Maybe it was in later videos. But I know it was pretty early on where he was even saying himself that he would not authenticate one of these single booster boxes because it had clear wrap on it. Couldn't name the set. Didn't know how much it was worth. Clearly should not even be authenticating those. Definitely shouldn't have been authenticating packs, as we've seen many reseals. We've seen TCAs, packs that came back opened. So I don't know if Steve was cracking packs or one of the employees there was cracking packs and sending them back. No idea. Well, maybe we'll never find out exactly what happened with those, but it sounds like they went to Steve, they got opened, they got sent back instead of being graded. It was a sealed box the TCA sent in, so there's no reason to believe it wasn't just, a mistake or I don't know how you mistakenly open that many packs, but apparently they did. Not to mention the other testimony where someone purchased packs from BBCE, sent them to PSA. PSA sent them to Steve. Steve said they were resealed, sent them back. So that purchase, or the person that made that purchase was unaware of the fact that the same person they bought from was the person who rejected their packs for tampering. I don't know if we need to look into any more than that. I'm pretty sure that should suffice. I think the entire process, the fact that you guys are authenticating it before you go to BBCE and telling him what it is and what it should do and what it looks like is enough of a red flag to say that Steve shouldn't be authenticating the case. I don't think anyone would actually authenticate that case or put their name on it unless you handed them a wad of cash, as was the case with that. Number 4, do you think companies like PSA or BGS let people just film their inner workings of their operations? I mean, you guys filmed pretty much the entire thing. There was quite a few clips, and you weren't there very long. What was it, 30, 45 minutes, something like that? Check the last video for the timestamps, or your own video for the timestamps. Same with BBCE and their authenticating process. Yeah, he picked up the tape, and that's probably what he did. They brought it in the back room, and they put a shrink wrap on it. They wouldn't allow us to film it for a reason. You should have filmed where you were handing off cash to them in exchange for a very mediocre assessment, if even an assessment. Your video, again, is your attempt to make it seem like it's something it isn't, but it has to match your agenda for clickbait. It wasn't clickbait. It was genuine concern, which only snowballed harder and harder. I guess we should probably hydrate before we go on. You also portray everything like no back-end homework was done. Oh, there was homework done, but it was on the scammy variety, I would say, more than anything. We worked with multiple reputable Pokemon sources, including the Pokaju. You talked to Pokaju on the phone. And I don't know, I didn't get to see any actual homework done by the Pokaju. He didn't show any of that, even when it was contested. I showed all my work. I showed all my reasons. The Pokaju showed basically nothing other than him, you guys, your little butt buddies that decided, hey, Rattle's wrong and he's a hater. We got to trust the Pokaju. We got to trust Jacob. Jacob is the most reputable person. Trust the hype dog Jacob over anything. Sure, he doesn't have anything backing it up, any real reason to make you believe that it's a real case. But let's blindly trust him because we met him one time at an event. A lot of research on tapes. Again, they keep going back to the tape. The tape was wrong. I showed that the tape was wrong. Not even the tape was right. Weights, I don't know if the weight was right. They never showed the weight, which is weird. You would think that would be one of their big things. I had a few people mention oh, G.I. Joe's not going to weigh the same as Pokemon. Yeah, but if you put the same amount, it's like bricks and feathers. You can have 10 pounds of bricks is the same as 10 pounds of feathers. Not exactly a fair comparison with trading cards and trading cards, but you just put enough cards in them that they end up being the same weight or similar weight. Size? The size of the case? I mean, the dimensions of the cases are on the case. So all you need is a box that's the same size. Labels? Label was the wrong size. Label's wrong. All around. Barcode is wrong. boxes. You can't even see the boxes. The boxes were painfully wrong. And the case was puffy for that reason, because it was fake boxes inside. But again, you don't seem like you care about this. I would disagree. I think I cared too much, maybe. You ever think about why it was shipped? Yeah, I think about why it was shipped. It's because the seller did not want someone to come pick it up and check the contents. A la PSA Pikachu. He had the option to sell it in person. PSA Pikachu was going to bring cash. He was going to be paid in cash if he wanted. All he had to do was let him open the case and verify the contents of one of the boxes. It's called Global Panty. There were passport and quarantine restrictions in place for us to go there and for them to come to us. Yeah, there were. And like, what, somebody has to quarantine for a couple weeks? You would think for something that's selling for $2.7 million at the time, that you're trying to flip for $2.7 million, that would be pretty reasonable rather than shipping it. And, without insurance, underdeclared. Again, would provide you all the details on this, but doesn't match your agenda. And no, it doesn't match your flip. I didn't watch your entire video because after viewing a few minutes, I realized it was strictly for clickbait and no real research has been done. You probably should have watched it, especially if you weren't aware of the scam, because it could have got you out of this a whole lot sooner. It is what it is. You will post whatever you want to match your narrative. It's just poor. Feel free to reach out to Jacob Gabe. Oh, believe me, I did. Card Kahuna directly on Instagram. He located the case and handled majority of communication with the seller in Alberta. But after watching your video, I don't know why he would want to talk to you. Neither do I any longer. This will be the last message I send you. Have a good day. And so I sent him a few messages, but he never replied and blocked me. I told him to let me know when he watches the whole video. I don't care if you're salty that this might come back on you and or are too lazy to know yourself about the original seller. I don't need the details that you and your Kahuna buddy failed to find prior to the purchase. This is when I still thought that there wasn't internal scammage, that maybe they had one pulled over on them, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think at this point, sorry, Jacob, but I think the odds of you coming out of this without some major involvement and knowing or knowledge of the case being fake, slim to none. Steve is not known for authenticating Pokemon, hasn't seen another one of these, and makes it very apparent that he has no business authenticating it. This is just within your own video and doesn't take into consideration other times where he shows lack of knowledge in this area. I'm happy to continue discounting his abilities in a follow-up if you would like. If experts in Pokemon like Rusty can be fooled by a resealed booster box, you can't honestly tell me you believe someone can verify a case and generic stop tape. You being too lazy to watch my whole video just makes it even more evident that you also were with researching your seller, LOL. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because Mealy Pops has never reached out to me after the fact. He tried to remove himself from the situation, so I don't know if at this point where he's trying to push me onto Jacob, if he doesn't want the heat of the fact that it's fake, if he knows it's fake, or maybe at this point he's kind of finding out that it's fake and he's in denial. Not really certain. But the most interesting part of it all is the fact that now his lawyer is reaching out to me for assistance on his case. So, I'm sorry, Jamil, you don't have the nuts to talk to me about it, even after the fact that it was found fake. And now you expect me to help you with your case or have your lawyer talk to me about it to try and get you off the hook. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. you guys let me know. Would you talk to the lawyer? I think it's probably fair that I hear the story from Jamil firsthand. If I'm going to assist them, if he is innocent, there's not really anything for him to worry about, right? He's not going to slip up and say anything wrong. I think that's probably fair. Let me know in the comments. What would you do? What would your expectations be? Am I being reasonable to think that I should at least get the full story from Jamil beforehand, before assisting them? Otherwise, I don't really see a reason why I should be, unless there's some kind of ridiculous alibi. I mean, maybe right at this point here where he's sending me messages, maybe this is when it started to click. Maybe he got duped, just like BBCE. This is a fun little clip where it sounds like Jacob found the case.
He's sitting right next to me. He's my partner in this. He's the one who actually found the case.
Here we see that Jacob is making the arrangements, or at least in control of the arrangements, to have the box, or the case rather, shipped.
I didn't really want to discuss anything with you just because we don't have it yet. We have a plan tomorrow. We're going to verify everything with him. We're going to verify that FaceTime when we open it. Jacob has the front side of this of him shipping it.
Here's Jamil saying that he wants Shine to have it because he's not a Pokemon person. That's weird. That seems very out of place. Whether or not that's a coincidence or not, I'll let you guys decide. But I mean, that looks bad, right?
I personally want you to have it because I think that you're the right guy for this, and you're not in the Pokemon world and all that stuff where people, all that drama, because there's drama on that side of things too.
Here we have Jamil saying that it was both his idea to bring it to Shine and his idea for the BBCE wrap. Both a pretty major role in what went down.
I told Jacob, I said, I got a guy who I think really would do well with this, and I think he might want it. We should give him a fair price and a fair shot at it, and let's go to him first. The BBCE wrap thing was all my idea because I just thought about it from the collectible standpoint, not breaking it down, keeping it sealed.
Why did they go to Shine first? Why did they give him exclusivity on it? It really doesn't make any sense. You had Pokaju, who was desperately trying to get Logan's attention, who could have brought it straight to Logan. They could have skipped a step, potentially made more money on it, but instead they bring it to somebody that isn't involved with Pokemon. Is that because he's not going to open it? Is that because they can sell a sports person on the fact that it's a sealed case? Is it because they can sell the sports person on the fact that it's got that BBCE wrap on it? It seems like all too much working against them here. All too many things that are seemingly put in place on purpose.
No, but I do appreciate you guys coming to me first, giving me exclusivity on it, being patient, allowing me to decide because, it's not like a sports card where I can just say, you know what, it's, I'll overpay for it, who cares?
We later have Jacob confirming that it was Jamil who brought Shine into the picture in the Bagger podcast.
Jamil actually introduced me to Matt. That was his involvement in the whole thing.
Keep in mind that Jacob is a little bit short here because at this point in time they're fighting. Jamil and Jacob are. It seems like they were fighting ever since those angry messages the whole time. And at any point when I talked to Jacob about it, he said it was about other matters. But I still have a very hard time believing it isn't because maybe Jamil found out the case was fake. Maybe Jamil didn't think it was going to go downhill. If he did know beforehand that it was fake, maybe he didn't think it was going to go bad. Maybe there were promises of, nothing could go wrong here. We're going to wrap it 69 times and we'll ride off into the sunset with all our money. And now it's time for those clips I promised of the J-Boys being in a hurry for every part of this process. The world's fastest flip. Buckle up.
yo, I need you to be here at this time. Like, if I give you some extra money, can you please stay an hour later? You know what I mean? We're coming to you. We came for this.
Jacob, hurry up. You have to fly and get it wrapped.
Now we have to fly to get it wrapped.
Why aren't you guys leaving? You have to get to BBCE.
We need to get to BBCE. So I told Steve right now we're leaving in 10 minutes.
You would think that it'd be able to wait until the next day.
So for us, we really don't want to let this out of our sight kind of thing, or overnight like you had said.
Speed run, baby!
Hey, so here's what happened. We didn't think we were going to get the case, and we did it literally the last moment so that Baseball Card Exchange could make this happen. I just got off the phone with Steve Hart that we're heading up there to get this case assessed, wrapped, first edition Pokemon base set, booster box, 6-box case. First ever that we're gonna get, you know, went through all the specs, that moment, getting all that with the buyer and seller and help and friends. And we've done our provenance on this thing. We've looked it through. It's the real deal.
Can you imagine being so dead set on getting everything done in one day? To the point that you're making them stay late on a Sunday instead of just going in the next morning, making sure that it's checked thoroughly. I guess that doesn't matter when you're just trying to get it wrapped for the sake of getting it wrapped, duping people.
They're staying late for us to make all this happen on the same day, which to me is wild, right? I mean, we can get all this done and it worked, and I'm excited. So we'll see you guys at Baseball Card Exchange.
They did it. They wrapped it. Now it's time to celebrate. Yeah.
Dude. It's done, dude. Done. It's done. So we're wrapped. Now we gotta sell it.
If the receival, authentication, and wrap weren't fast enough for you, it's okay. They're going to sell it the next day. Just to, continue that speed run. Flip it as fast as possible. If you're not touching it for more than 30 seconds, then you're not liable for the contents.
Go, and we could bring it to you tomorrow.
All right, Jamil, give us a little airplane recap of the speed run, your reasoning behind it. It's just because you didn't want to get too attached, right? That's why he did it in one day and then sold it the next. That's why, right?
I think because it all happened so quick, and I think Jacob would say the same thing. We had goals and we came here, and there's always that side of, man, if we did it differently, could we have gotten more, da-da-da. But the truth is what we were able to accomplish is really, I think, really cool. Shows how awesome the hobby is. Shows how awesome the community is. Indie Card Exchange, Baseball Card Exchange, our seller who just loves Pokemon. I mean, all those things. So yeah, I mean, we've just been really blessed and humbled by it all. I think that's probably the emotional side of it. You kind of remove yourself from it, The less time you have it, I think, in a way, the less you become attached to it.
I don't think there's anything worse than when people go on about how they're doing it for the hobby or the community or anything of the sort, when they're clearly just doing it to make a buck. If you're going to make a buck, just make a buck, but own it. Don't let on like you're helping people. This is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
In jets to tow Pokemon cases, you know what I mean? You never think those things, but I think that's a testimony to people who work hard in this business and who are honest. Honestly, I think genuinely you care about people and you care about the hobby. We wanted to do this right, we wanted to make sure this was right.
Hopefully all is done.
Matt at a hotel, and the one and only Shine. Hopefully everything is done, and then I think you and I are heading back to Gainesville. Maybe Jacob, I'm not sure yet. So he's jet setting, he's going everywhere.
Here's a pretty good example of them claiming to have authenticated it before even bringing it to BBCE. It sounds like they did more measuring and weighing than they did when they actually got there. Maybe it was just for the shrink wrap, the 2.5-hour drive after that.
This came in at Indy Card Exchange. They gave us a back room. We went back there. We weighed, measured everything that we knew of the numbers, and we certified everything. We did a phone call with him, me, made sure everything matched up, and then we drove to BBCE.
It's gone, guys. What a relief. Woo!
And now we don't have the case. It's in their hands. We put it in their black bag, and now it's theirs. So case is gone, sold.
All right, Jacob, tell us again what happened at BBCE, the process, the expertise. How are they're responsible for it, right? It's off your hands.
Yeah, he had one. He opened it up. So then it's just the weight was perfect, the box was perfect, and then that's when we took it to a place that authenticates things. Their authentication process is ridiculous. You give it to them, and the guy who authenticates it is a complete professional on taping, on actual tape, on cardboard, and they run it through an X-ray machine. Because now they're liable. Once they wrap that box, they instantly take full liability of what's inside the box, which is awesome for an investor, right? Like, the box is wrapped, God forbid, whatever it is, it's not on me. You got to go see BBCE, because if they wouldn't have wrapped it, it would have been way harder to sell. So he looked at me and he's like, this tape has been, the tape that's on the box has been discontinued for about 12 years. He's like, this tape isn't on the market anymore, the type of tape that it is.
With all that authentication that took place, very little risk at that point, right? Right, Jacob?
But this one situation, because of the risk reward, once it was wrapped, I just really wanted to move it. It wasn't and I'll be completely honest, even if I didn't move it and had it wrapped and held onto it, I would have never been able to do what Shine did.
There are some snippets where they're talking to our boy Justin. Justin, reach out. Let's have a chat.
Yes, thank you. My nephew and my sister and everyone will be sending you guys gift baskets and stuff.
Oh, thank you so much. And we're working on something for you as well. We're brainstorming on ways that we could help as well. We have a lot of love for you and we appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your patience and all this too. Yeah. Thank you for all you guys did. I know it's been a lot.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. See you guys.
So here we have a conversation on the podcast where Jacob is going on about how he helped out poor Justin. Poor Justin. The best part about this clip is the fact that he mentions one wire transfer, when the stories I heard from the J Boys indicate there was more than one transfer, or supposed to be more than one transfer. So I don't know what happened there.
This guy, the poor guy that, you know what, I'm really happy because I changed his life. The guy who I bought the box, I paid him an amount. It was 7 figures, but I paid him an amount that completely changed his life. He was about to just put it on eBay and let it go on auction.
I remember seeing it.
Selling it for nothing. You know, he would have got like $75,000, $80,000. You know what I mean? And you know, I gave him an amount of money that changed his life. You know, it's not like a lot of people out there are saying, oh, he bought it, he ripped this guy off, he bought it for $100,000. It's not the case at all. I paid 7 figures for the box. And, you know, the kid started crying when he saw the wire. And the kid started crying when he saw the wire hit his account. And he was shocked. And he completely trusted us because he shipped me all these things. You know, he shipped me these cases without any payment, without anything.
Wow.
You know, we grew a connection over the phone. I spoke to him a lot of times. You know, he shipped me because I wasn't going to take the risk of, I know who I am, right? Once I received it, I know who I am. Once I see what I got and it's real, I'm going to pay him, you know, but he completely was out in the blue. He shipped me everything, no money, no down payment, nothing at all. And the same day I received it was the same day he got paid, and we got on FaceTime, and him, his wife, his mom, they were all crying. Like they were so happy. It was honestly heartwarming.
Jenny also is telling me to mention the fact that there are still postcards available, signed postcards. If you're already a member, from the join button down below, and you haven't claimed one, you should do so. If you want one, but you're not a member, you can join the lowest tier. covers most of my cost. It's appreciated, and I'll get one sent out to you. There are 100 available. Still plenty on the desk here. For the love of God, take them off my hands. I should also say that if you are a member already, in order to reach out, just send me a message on Discord or on Instagram, preferably those two since I check them the most often, and I'll make the necessary arrangements. Thank you very much, J-Boys, for documenting all of this, leaving a lot of key details in said video or videos. Here we can see the tracking details. More importantly, we have another clip here where he shows his phone and it has the tracking number on it. Very, very nice information, especially for law enforcement. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Can you imagine letting on that you're so worried about your package, about it arriving, about when it's going to arrive, about being there when it arrives, about going to the depot to try and pick it up, everything else, but at the same time, you have it underdeclared for $1,000? I'm not an expert on U.S. imports, but I'm going to say that's probably also against the law. And you made a video about it. There's got to be some kind of rules that are being broken there. You can't just ship something that's worth millions of dollars into the U.S. and declare it at $1,000. Can you? Anyone? Let me know.
Can I say something real quick? Yo, a package just got shipped from across the world for $1,000 declared value.
It's crazy. FedEx.
FedEx coming through.
FedEx
coming through.
Even Steve, at some points, realizes there's a lot of holes in the entire story.
His family, none of them have passports.
And you couldn't go there?
Well, that's the thing. We have to quarantine for 14 days.
Disconcerted about the case. Meanwhile, no insurance on it.
Okay, shipped it. No insurance.
No insurance.
No signature required.
We were.
Well, no. Signature, yeah.
Signature required.
Sort of funny here that Steve is joking about what happens if Customs opens it and they find G.I. Joe cards inside, I guess. Then they have to restart the scam. Good thing they didn't send it straight to BBCE in case it did get opened on the way. That would have been something.
Yeah, that's amazing that he would ship something like this. So let's say Customs would have opened it and opened the packs. How much would it have been less money-wise? Hundreds of thousands?
Yeah, absolutely.
Million?
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
Is this the reason that they sent it to the other game shop and they wanted to be the first ones to receive it? Maybe. I sort of have a really hard time believing that they told them to underdeclare it and not insure it because there's going to be red flags and it might get stolen. It seems unlikely, but that's what they claim.
Well, we told them, I said, listen, if you're going to ship it, now if you go and you insure it for $100,000 through some, you're going to have earmarks and red flags on it.
Yes.
And I said, listen, man, you got to make a decision. And he goes, we're going to do it. We trust. I said, you're crazy. I said, but the situation is they needed it.
Yep.
Death in the family.
Don't have to worry about any of that stuff if it's not a real case and you're receiving it yourself. Why would you pay extra for insurance? So here we'll listen to a little speech from Jacob about how the original seller trusted him. He got these other cases. We showed that those other cases didn't happen, or they were also fake cases. They weren't sold to somebody else because even the shadowless case that he claimed that ended up being sent to him or sold to him, the story changed a bunch of times. But that had the missing first edition base box. They were the same PO boxes, the same nonsense garbage fakes. Leads it all into, Jacob, I'm sorry, but it looks like you were almost certainly in on it from the beginning. The way, kind of had to assume that anyway, with the amount of changes in story. Just everything ties back to you knew all along, the whole time. All of it.
And he completely trusted us because he shipped me all these things. He shipped me these cases without any payment, without anything.
Wow.
We grew a connection over the phone. I spoke to him a lot of times. You know, he shipped me because I wasn't gonna take the risk of. I know who I am, right? Once I received it, I know who I am. Once I see what I got and it's real, I'm gonna pay him. You know, but he completely was out in the blue. He shipped me everything, no money, no down payment, nothing at all. And the same day I received it was the same day he got paid, and we got on FaceTime, and him, his wife, his mom, they were all crying. Like they were so happy. It was honestly heartwarming.
As promised, the final segment here, we're going to take a look at hype dogs in their natural habitat. The thing with hype dogs is they're always sniffing each other's buttholes, as we'll see here with a certain iPhone Elite that Jacob keeps bringing up. They all seem to know him. They love him.
And shout out to iPhone Elite on Instagram. He was my
cool
partner.
Dude. He's a cool.
He was my partner. That he's like a brother to me, literally. Like if they, you know, PokeJew's one of my best friends, but Alex iPhone Elite and is
literally
is like a brother to me.
I met him up in Vegas, and then like as soon as I came back, he sends me a DMs like, "Hey, if you ever want like cool shoes or like anything related to that, I'll hook you up."
There's no one. This guy's heart is so big. If I tell you,
free stuff,
I'll start pulling out boxes and boxes of shoes. It's like every time he's like, "Jacob, do you need these new Yeezys?" And I'm like, "No, Alex." And he's like, "Come downstairs. I'm outside your house."
Here you notice that the hype dogs really appreciate the other hype dogs that give them free shit. You know, it's a sign of a good person when they give you free sneakers, baller items, right? Does it surprise anyone else that the hype dog that Jacob Dog is going on about is the guy that's giving out free shit, that's supposed to be a nice guy, is also associated with Collectibles Guru? You guys get where this is going? All the hype dogs are the ones with all the counterfeit items, all the resealed shit, all the hype behind it. This is where all the scams are coming from. Anyone else putting that together? This little clip makes a whole lot more sense why that Charizard King guy was saying dumb shit on Instagram.
I'm with my man Charizard King on that one.
Remember, guys, hype dogs always hook each other up.
And same thing with Mealy Pops. Even Mealy Pops wouldn't even know who Whatnot is without me making that connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
Some people forget.
There's this rare phenomenon when enough hype dogs get together in the same room. There's enough of them that they're all sniffing each other's butts so much that they form a perfect circle. It's really, really something magical to witness.
Our circle is basically people that are good people, just like Jacob, Alex, so on and so forth. Like we surround ourselves with the right kind of people.